And Dr. Ish, I'd like to hear your opinion. Chime in here. You know, we have this two forces opposing each other. People that are in need of an organ transplant, they're looking at a life-threatening situation, and yet are so adamant about not getting their vaccination.
I go back to that old saying Dr. Phil has used for years: the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior, right? Dr. Weill just said, we want to set people up to win, right? We want you to do well. We want the transplant to take and you to go on and live your life. If you haven't been willing to do everything possible up to that point, then we can't predict that you're going to continue to do everything you need to do after the transplant, transplant, to make sure you're as successful as possible. And like I said, for doctors, from our standpoint, it's simple math, right? Vaccine, transplant, health, and life, and you move on down the road. You know, here's a super harsh comparison, and it is crass. And I'm going to preface this statement with that, but I don't put a new engine in a car I'm about to sell. Right?
No, you don't.
Because that car is going to move on to pasture, and I'm going to forget about that car after a while. So we've got to put the resources where we have the best chance of having the best outcome. And again, it's really the stigma. It's really the politicization of it. We've got to have these more open, honest, non-judgmental discussions and bring all your questions to the table. They're not silly questions. I got a silly question for you, Dr. Weill. If you've got a transplant patient and they come in with a GSW, do you do the organ transplant before you fix the gunshot wound in surgery?
Absolutely not.
Right?
Absolutely not. No.
Why?
And it's that straightforward. It's that straightforward because, you know, we are all about success. I mean, transplant programs want to be successful for a variety of reasons. The most important is to help the people that we transplant. So we ask cigarette smokers to stop cigarette smoking before they get a lung transplant. We ask people that drink alcohol to stop drinking before they get a liver transplant. It's all about success.
Andrew, any final thoughts? You've been part of the discussion. What do you think?
Well, I think both these gentlemen are hitting all the right points. Ish, you made a really good point about being able to continue that leading a healthy lifestyle. I consider myself lucky. I always share, when I share my story, that I'm very lucky because I led a very healthy lifestyle before my heart transplant. And I always think about what would have happened if I were to succumb to the stereotypical college lifestyle, partying, eating whatever you want, and not maintaining your health. I was spending a lot of time making sure that my health was my top priority. And I just so happened to need a heart transplant. So when I share my story, I always make sure to include the fact that people need to be taking care of themselves, whether they are going to be listed or they are not. You never know what the future holds. And I really hope that we can accommodate a lot of people who are unvaccinated or not able to get a vaccine so they can receive the gift of life, which is an organ or tissue transplant.
It sure is. All right. Thank you so much, Andrew and Dr. Weill. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.